Gene, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get started with map number 2. Once again, my name is Blue. Joining me here is Mega Man, and well, that couch just is giving Conquest no breaks, are they?
They aren't pulling any punches on this one whatsoever, and I can't honestly say that I blame them too much. Now, again, I agree with Moses on this. I think it's a matter of how many rounds is Conquest going to get. I don't think that anybody with any stretch of the imagination is going to bank on them being able to take Inferno. Now, in the past, we've seen Conquest with a pretty strong CT side on Inferno, so it's really going to come down to this knife round right here. If they can get the pick of the litter, if they can start off on the CT side, could they do the damage? Could they have that good CT side half to maybe enable themselves? But then again, it's also going to rely on them picking up a pistol round victory as well, which they have failed to do in the first map.
That is a lot of ifs.
A lot of ifs.
That is a lot of ifs.
I mean, when you're playing a team like Fnatic, they don't really deal in ifs. They deal in absolutes, and it's been an absolute massacre so far.
All right, guys, so we are live into the knife round now, and it's going to be over here, our second map on Inferno. So we'll take a look at who takes the side start, and this could have a pretty big sort of leaning advantage to decide who is actually going to end up getting the opening advantage here. What is this? What is this little duel? And yeah.
Dennis ruined.
All right.
Ruined. Kappa Ross.
Well, that's going to happen. And of course, now Fnatic, once again, they get their side choice to start things off. Now, what was interesting, if I actually remember correctly, back on Mirage, they win the knife round, but then they choose T side start.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that you see Fnatic do, especially when they're playing up against a team that they're not really familiar with. They'll take the aggressive side because then they can dictate the pace of the matchup. They don't have to really worry about, you know, what are the CTs going to be playing as far as their setups are concerned on the CT side, because we don't care. We're just going to be pushing in. You saw it, full force with the Olafmeister pushing that Molotov with a Tech 9 and killing 2 guys in the back on an anti-eco round. You know, big things like that is where they can dictate the pace. So, honestly, I don't foresee them taking terrorist side on Inferno. I think that would be a little bit foolish for Fnatic, but again, they're a team where they're pretty much, even their side picks are going to be unpredictable.
Yeah, so we're just going to have to wait and see how that begins here. But for Conquest, they've got a very large path set out ahead of them. Now, what's interesting is we take a look at Conquest, and again, Conquest are one of the very few teams in North America. Well, I actually say few. It's actually not becoming that uncommon anymore, but they're one of the teams in North America. I should actually say that starting off T-side over here on Inferno, they actually can make quite a bit of an impact starting off there. People like Shazam 2 are actually one of the few players that actually dare to try and pick up an op pretty consistently on this T-side, where it punishes you quite a bit if you mess up even in the slightest degree. So we'll see if he chooses to do that here in this match today. I can hear from that video they want to play into their own, so we'll see if that'll be the case. But
well,
this is not going to be the best start.
Wall at B, and it starts with Olafmeister.
That's
headshot.
The first stop sign, as Moses would say.
That is one of the big ones right there. And again, it's going to be now. What do they do? All right, we went for that early aggression. You can actually see Olafmeister is pushing down Banana, but JW is going to be able to find one flush as well, and that's going to be Rush finally answering back. He's got the boss spy, the raid boss spy, coming in here, but JW again from the pit. He's going to deny it. They at least get the plant down, which is, you know, decent enough in its own right. But
they want the knife.
Oh, there
no.
it is though. JW, you can hear him wooing in the background. JW is going to take him down with the knife. They're going to get the Tech 9 out of it as well, and that's just insult to injury right there. That's 3 pistol rounds now in Fnatic's favor over 2 maps.
You know what JW also did there? He took the silencer off his USP.
Did he? What's that? I thought he had a P250.
No,
it's hard to see the monitor the way that it's lean, but...
You can tell from the sound, man. That's a sound you don't hear very often, and when you do...
That's something Forrest used to do all the time, especially on Nuke. Yeah.
So immediately Fnatic will go for their investments here in the second round. It looks like Dennis actually is not going to go for an upgrade just to save a little bit of cash. He'll stick the Tech 9, but for the rest of these guys, we're going to see 2 P90s coming into the picture, and then 2 more M4s as part of the usual course sitting on both JW and Olafmeister. But here comes that smoke back over there. We can see a couple of players from Conquest trying to contest that, but won't be able to do so for very much longer, as now that smoke comes into play, Olafmeister going to fall back. He knows that avenue safe, and for the time being, it doesn't look like Conquest are really going to be trying to push into that.
Now, I want to take a running tally of how many times Conquest tries to take B and how many times they actually get the bomb down, or even get past Haycart in B. Because if that B hold is as strong as Moses is claiming that it is, then it shouldn't even be remotely close to them even smelling that bomb site. But again, they're going to revamp their strategy. They're going to pick up the bomb from T-ramp, and they're going to push their way up towards the A bomb site. And this, not necessarily the wrong call, because it is a pretty standard CT site setup with 2 at B and 3 at A, but they've pushed one down in Banana, and they're already starting to rotate a player over. Nice dink, though. Flush is going to get tagged down, but top side of mid, Dennis with the Tech 9 just going to go ahead and wreck them.
And there's that reaction, and again, we're not seeing things communicated as quickly as they need to be from the side of Conquest there. The reaction is just very slow from everybody on Conquest to try and take out that single player from Fnatic. He's allowed to just go crazy. He wraps back around there through porch side, and he picks up way too many kills before he finally is shut down by somebody on that team.
Yeah, so 2-0 for Fnatic, but because of that first round bomb plant, we are going to be seeing Conquest on this early AK buy. And you can see they've kind of sensed this a little bit because Dennis is going to be the one with the big green in his hands. He's got the AWP. They stuck with 2 P90s. That's going to be Crims playing with Olofmeister at B and Flusha at the top side of mid. But you can see already the flashes and the smokes down to the bottom side of B, and we're going to be seeing this push come in, and Nap is going to meet his demise early on. Rush, he goes back into Fnatic's JW, but that's going to be the P90 now in the hands of Crims, and he's just going to hold down mouse 1 and AD spam. Shazam gets tagged down, 1 HP for him, 7 for Rush, but they've still got Olofmeister around the corner to contend with. And he's going to go ahead and deploy the smoke, hide behind it for a second and see. Oh, he actually pushes through it, so this is really cheeky.
Conquest, you can see they're still actually trying to decide if they want to go through with this or not, but it seems to be them leaning towards falling back and trying to make another avenue in towards the A site. Even that is going to be a pretty hard task to accomplish because while all this B action was going on, we saw basically no one trying to push towards alternate mid or anything such as that to try and get maybe inside of the apartments or even try to get through the choke point. So they have no clue what's sitting over on that A site. And with all the time they've sort of wasted here now as well, they actually don't even really know what Fnatic is going to do in terms of their rotations. They still have 3 players to work against, and they haven't hit a single point of damage on any of those 3 players.
And here's another big thing too, is Olofmeister salvaging his smoke off of his comrade's body, is able to smoke off the top of Banana with 37 seconds left in the round. So this is massive. This stalls him out so much. Now they're going to have to push this smoke if they want to do anything in this round. He's still got counter flashes. He's going to see that smoke come around the corner towards the top side of B. And now he's going to be able to throw that pop flash out. Stannis gets blinded. He's going to hold this single angle. He's going to be able to take down 1, 2, and 3. And now it's going to be Daps all by himself with 15 seconds against 2.
And Daps, again, should be able to get himself the plant going here, but Fnatic won't have too much trouble with the retake. Daps doesn't really have anything to hold it back, but he picks up the first one, looking for the second, but just barely. Flusha hopping in there, trying to screw up the aim as much as he can, is going to be able to win this one. He'll close this one out, and what the heck is he doing? He's just having a good old time here before he goes
so he's got
for the defuse.
plenty of time, but that is going to be Fnatic picking up the first gun round. A little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, but again, they didn't have the full rifle buy that they would have normally had, but you can see, looking stern in the background there, Flusha, the last man standing, going to be able to find that kill. And finishes off the round. So Fnatic up 3-0. It's going to reset the economy here from the terrorists out of Conquest. But with that bomb plant, that gives them the opportunity to buy up some armor here as well. And without breaking their bank account either. You can see Daps actually has a Tech 9 in armor and still had $2,300 going forward into this round. So that's not necessarily a bad thing here because they might be able to do some damage. But this time it's 4 M4s instead of 2 with 2 P90s.
Now we see Conquest, they start themselves off by trying to make some progress towards B. What Shazam actually finds an opening frag over here. Olofmeister playing it too close to the mid-choke point. He is shut down. Shazam almost gets himself into a little bit of a battle as well with Dennis, but falls away from this one. He's going to have to be careful on a repeat because that off presence is now going to be there by mid-choke, and I think he is actually suspicious of this to some degree because the first player he takes down does not have that on him when he eliminates him. So now he's going to peek it, but that just walks right into Dennis's crosshair. So he finds the first one, misses the connection on the second one, and now the floodgates are open for Conquest to try and press their way in. Rush 2, getting himself up to balcony. Currently, they've got a player watching this, but he's a lot more focused on the porch wrap, so that could throw them off to some degree, but the progress is being made very, very slowly here. And again, you have to keep in mind exactly what Conquest have to work with here, which is not a whole lot.
Well, they've slowed down so much, they've stalled out this push. They do manage to smoke things off, and JW gets taken down by Rush. That was the balcony player. Now, Dennis, look at this. He gets really aggressive. He had fallen back into sight. Flusha picks up 2. Now Dennis moves back around towards the boiler side of top mid. So this is kind of a really interesting play. They're probably not even predicting that there's going to be a guy on truck side so quickly into this round. This is really, really impressive stuff from Dennis. A, that he's been able to stay alive this long, and B, that he hasn't even taken any damage. So now he's going to come around from truck side. He's going to go to battle, but Flush is going to be able to pick up one. That's Stanislaw, and now it's all on Rush in a 1 versus 3. That bomb not planted for him. He's going to be able to find one more kill, but Flush with the 4K on the round, and Fnatic, that was a little close for comfort for them.
Yeah, Conquest are slowly making progress here to being able to pick up a round. So if this pace continues, we may finally be able to see them sort of breaking the chain eventually. But then the problem for Conquest becomes the consistency and being able to string those numerous rounds together on T side, because obviously Fnatic are a team that can easily be able to adapt to a lot of these situations, and well, if one of their strategies is trumped, then they can just, you know, go for another one here and try something different, and then Conquest have to start that process all over again if they don't immediately figure it out.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, is the adaptation from the Fnatic side. It's like we touched on before. If you don't force them to respect you, they're not going to in any facet of their gameplay. And right now, they haven't had a call to respect anything that Conquest is doing, and you can see that they've been doing that with their their strategy is getting revamped all the time. And look at this, already into this gun round, Shazam is at 56 health and Nap is at 1 HP. There's another shot through. Stanislaw down to 66 and Shazam down to 8. These double hops are just, or this single op from Olofmeister has just wreaked so much havoc to him. He finds one through the smoke. That's Shazam down and out, and he's still got utility to burn, literally.
It's actually interesting. I think that first shot that he fired, I'm not even sure if you
Collateral?
Yeah, it looked like a collab,
Through the
didn't
wall,
it?
yeah.
I didn't even know if you could do it from that spot, but
you can slam both sides.
Looks like he hits it, and he basically hits a guy in the head there, too. So that's what brings Naf down to exactly 1 HP. So already here, Conquest are being very weakened by that. And we were talking about the B side hold before, just back out towards Banana. They're held back from this one, and not just this, too, but you can just see the Conquest, they don't even want to try to go forward about it. They're just sitting back. They're just kind of hesitant. Nobody, again, wants to try and make that progress, even though there's literally nothing there from Fnatic right now. They're so slow about it. They're so scared. And this is becoming a huge problem here for the guys on the T side.
And the big thing is they're not even getting the opportunity to make any progress right now. You saw Dennis, I mean, he wide peeked down mid with an M4 and finds that frag and takes down Dap. So now the execution comes in, but we've got a forward position from Crims. He's going to be able to spray down one. Olofmeister is there, but Nafly is going to get cleaned up because he's so low on HP to begin with. And you can see they're having a good time over there. JW having a little giggle.
JW is literally like just having fun with this game right now. I think most of Fnatic are, to be honest.
I can't really say that I blame them because this is the kind. I mean, you don't want close matches. Close matches get you tilted. Close matches get the blood going. These big blowouts. This is where you have the most fun, unless you're Conquest.
The first game was like, okay, let's figure out this team real quick. Let's see how good they really are. And then coming into the second game, it's just, all right,
we're good. We're good.
We got this, guys. No problem. Just pug. All right, so now we see again the guns coming into the hands of the members of Conquest, but Fnatic are ready for the mid-choke push, and it's already 3 kills being shut down. The 4th and the 5th come out very swiftly after that, and another round ends just like that. And still, not a single round on the board here for Conquest.
Yeah, just a mow down in mid, not a lot that they can do. That was a full gun round, but I don't know if you saw, actually, from the instant replay there, Dap's rush and Naf just got annihilated by a grenade in mid. I think that every single one of them, it was a double nade across mid. And that's something that I actually noticed in the very first gun round that Fnatic did, was they threw a nade from port side and 2 nades over from the arch side. That time I think it was just a single nade from each side, but it did so much damage. They were so softened up by the time that they got to the top side of mid. Now you see some alt mid aggression from JW. This is the JW that we're used to seeing. Playing with full confidence, he picks up a second one. He's got one more down there at the bottom of the stairs, but there's another player around the corner, and he just re-peeks it anyway.
Not even doing it with an op either, just doing this with a rifle, just casually walking up. All right, window room, find a kill, fall back. Someone's probably going to try to push me back up the T-steps. Got him too. Just nothing going wrong here at the moment, and unfortunately Conquest, it's becoming an issue probably of morale for these guys too, because it's almost every single round where they're just cut down to a single player that doesn't decide to go aggressive at the beginning of the round. Yeah, and then it just becomes this situation. This is a mind game to some degree being played by Fnatic. Fnatic could easily just walk right in and kill this guy with no trouble whatsoever, but they're actually like,
Crims.
they're actually lasting these situations out a little bit more, just so it's a little bit more detrimental to Conquest and their morale, because you could just see it from their faces from the cameras. Conquest are in a horrible mood. Fnatic are all smiles and laughs right now.
I can't say that I blame them. Obviously, they're having a good time right now, but 7-0 the scoreline. We're approaching midway of the first half, and Fnatic in complete control of this one. And again, it's Olofmeister with the AWP over at the B-bomb site. JW does get naded up. Actually, he gets taken down, so Rush going to find the opening for Conquest. So this is the best start to a round that we've seen out of Conquest so far in this first half.
And now, as they try to press their way forward here again, it becomes that big issue of getting themselves up Banana successfully, but it's immediately going to be put to a halt there as Olofmeister picking up a first kill on a Naf. More of these players try to press forward, but as we can see, Shazam is going to be shut down there by Crims as he gets himself sitting up on top of Car, able to shut out yet another one of these guys, and this is probably just going to hold Conquest back by that much larger of a margin. They're still not able to find any progress, and they're slowly being hunted down player by player here as Olofmeister and Dennis pick up the 2 players back over here outside of mid-choke and once again back up on Banana.
Conquest are just very, very disorganized right now on their terrorist side. And the big thing about it is usually it's Fnatic that are getting that opening pick, and mentally that's just going Conquest saying, oh, well, what do we do now? Last round they got the opening pick, and that's the first time they'd been in that situation, so they thought, well, what do we do now? We got the pick. Where do we go? Well, not into Olofmeister, not into Crims, because that's where the stop sign is at B. And again, this time, now you see JW again re-aggressing into the alternate mid. So they're switching up the pace, but again, Crims at B finds Stanislaw.
The thing with JW is he's actually not necessarily, just not yet. He's not going for this kind of aggression like every single round just from the get-go here, so I would like to see Conquest trying to investigate inside of the apartments a little bit more, because it's either been just trying to push up Banana and unfortunately not going very well at it, or trying to make some sort of push as well just through the mid-choke point. They haven't really been exploring apartments as a very big option, and at least at the beginning of this round, again, they're trying to play it slow, they're trying to wait out members of Fnatic, but they're just finding them in locations where they haven't expected them from before, and are slowly shutting them out. Again, 4 kills to 1 so far it's been traded out, and it's just down to Rush and Daps.
Yeah, well, they are answering back a little bit. We are down to a 2 versus 2, but that's going to be Dennis peeking right where JW actually fell from, so they're going to be able to refrag right there, and now Dennis intelligently falls back into sight. Krims, he's got the bomb down at the bottom side of Banana, so if Rush can actually intercept Dennis at the backside of Moto Pit, he might actually be able to do something, but again, like we talked about, that bomb being down at the bottom side of Banana, not a whole lot that Rush is going to be able to do except die, and Krims is going to just decapitate him with that one. So you can see they're still chattering a little bit over there on that side, but again, Fnatic just in complete control of this matchup. 9 unanswered rounds.
Yeah, and that's just, again, at the end of that round, Dennis is just sort of fooling around with Rush there. As he's down to 2 HP, so he knows he's really not going to be able to do anything. He actually just falls back and is like, all right, come chase me, come waste 20, 30 seconds of your time. So even if you do take me down, you may not have enough time to kill the final guy, retrieve the bomb, and do whatever else you try to do there. So it's just set up there from Fnatic.
Olafmeister on 12-3 right now. He's having a match, and then Flusha behind him at 11-2. So these players, high impact for them. And now JW, he's got plenty of money. Why is he on a Mag 7? Well, it's probably a good thing.
Because why not?
Because he's going to find one, drops the nade around the corner. Oh, I'm surprised that nade didn't actually kill him. I don't think he got the connection, but Dennis lines him up and lays him down. That's the bomb carrier down as well. It's going to be Rush to fall next, and Daps goes down to the hands of Flusha. And again, JW, I think for the last 3 or 4 rounds, JW has been the only one to die on the Fnatic side. You can see 3 deaths across the board, max for the rest of the players. Dennis at 8-3, 13-3 for Olafmeister, 6-1 for Krims. He hasn't had to do anything. 12-2 for Flusha. And the reason that JW is so low on money is because he's died 6 out of the 10 rounds. But again, it doesn't really matter.
Everybody else,
it doesn't really matter.
They're high class, man.
Well, he's allowing the others to drop him guns so that they don't cap on money. He's really being the nice guy, JW, right now.
So there's going to be a lot more aggressive pressure coming up Banana this time. Krims able to hold back Naf initially, but now the smokes come back out, and immediately Conquest almost just freeze here. Dap trying to find a way through. Krims gets the peek, takes him down, but there is going to be Stanislaw coming back in there to find a trade for it. Shuts out Krims, still keeps it in the favor of Fnatic, but they are making progress. Now it's about getting onto that site. They haven't done it yet, and it may not happen here as Flusha shuts out Stanislaw, and that is immediately going to kill the progress as everybody from Conquest just goes back to Crossroads.
Yeah, and that's the big thing too. And look at JW. If they even think about going alternate mid, and that looks like where they are going, at least for the time being, and JW actually peeks out with the USP and finds Rush. So Shazam falls immediately afterwards to Dennis, and you can see obviously they're still laughing and having a good time. Not so much on the Conquest side.
It's all falling apart.
Yes, it is. 11-0.
Very slowly, very painfully for Conquest. Things continue to deteriorate, and we're going to see a pause, obviously assuming this is a tactical pause here, but I mean, this is way too late. This should have been done at 6 or 7-0 at the latest.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things is utilizing your pauses at appropriate times is your ability to talk things over, hash things out, but 11-0, you're on the terrorist side. You're already down 11 rounds. There's only 4 rounds left. You're in that infinite money cycle, which you've been in since the 5th round of this match went the way of Fnatic. What do? They're not having any luck at the B-bomb site, which is something that Moses had talked about before, that roadblock that's over there, that Krims and Olafmeister roadblock at B. And the thing is they haven't even gotten into the B-bomb site with the exception of that first gun round, which came down to that P90 spray from Flusha to clutch that one out. Ever since then, they haven't gotten a bomb plant. They haven't even gotten into a bomb site. They've been shut down basically in the bottom side of Banana and middle the entirety of this half. They have had no option of where or what to do. And that's, you know, how do you even think about, okay, what do we actually need to do? Because these guys are just wrecking us at every avenue of the map.
Like, mentally speaking, this pause is great because it gives them a chance to reset. Like I said before, Fnatic were just being absolutely like almost rude to a certain degree with how much they were trying to just crush Conquest and not give them any room at all to even think or regroup as a team. So this pause is hopefully giving them a chance to do that and recenter and maybe again get some of that team synergy back together. But Fnatic is going to continue the same strategies here. They're not expecting to see anything different. JW still goes for the behind of the Mag 7, and he's going to be waiting inside the apartments for any sort of aggression.
Flusha down mid finds Shazam, but it should be this Mag 7 to clean up a player over here in the alternate middle. There's a flashbang around the corner, and that's going to be Stanislaw, I believe, at the bottom side trying to peek that one out. There's the Mag 7 battle that we were looking for, but not going to be able to dish out the damage that he was looking for, but the man advantage goes the way of Fnatic to start off this round, and Krims playing on top of the smoke by the hay cart, and he's going to get peeked here in a second. Stanislaw is going to go wide and he actually finds it with the assistance from Nafly. Flusha does find Rush down middle, so we're on a 3 versus 4, but now they've got to contend with Olofmeister if they want to push in towards that bomb site, and the bomb's still at the bottom of T-Ram.
So if Conquest were to suddenly flip this back around and try to go for an 8, take this one over, great, because they've drawn a lot of rotations off from Fnatic, but now Fnatic are going to get aggressive. Actually, Olofmeister messes that up, gives Naf an opportunity to find a kill. However, Dennis quickly responded to that one, able to take it back and shuts down Naf, and then he just continues forward, shuts out Stanislaw here too. Moving it down to a 3 versus 1, all on Daps, picking up that first frag there to shut out Dennis, but as he presses himself forward, they need to try and get a plan here. As even their buys are starting to suffer here from the side of Conquest. They can't continuously force themselves up, even with the losing bonus. They need to try and find a plan, but even as he works his way on here, he's got to try to find his way through one of the members of Fnatic. He thinks it's open, a big mistake, in comes Flusha, he stops it, but Flusha just tapping, he's playing with him, and he's not even going to have enough time. They're going to wait out this timer, they're going to kill him after the timer, so he has no money.
Well, they're going to try, and they've got the pinch on him, JW coming around the corner, but doesn't actually hear him and react in time. He almost actually got him taken down, but again, time expires, round goes the way of Fnatic, 12-0 now, and just not a whole lot that Conquest can do. This is just a really, really tough spot for him to be in. You can see Shazam they don't have any utility for any of these choke points. They've got 4 smokes, which is at least decent, 2 nades and a handful of flashes, 1 Molotov for Naf. Shazam has nothing to offer into this round, even no head armor, and Crims.
If we actually had seen that play out the way that Fnatic wanted it to, where they kill him after the timer expires, that basically would have just been like the icing on the crap cake.
Oh yeah.
So
big time.
Thankfully they avoid this, so
they bought a little icing for this round. He's going to be squeezing it out of the noob tube over there, the auto shotgun in the hands of Crims.
Crims is now
the whole leaf blower coming into effect.
Let me have some fun with a shotgun. JW,
you've
done
had
this
your
enough.
time. Yeah.
Now it's my turn to pick up some free money here. So to start this off, actually, team damage is going to be the name.
That was a spam through the wall.
Oh, was it actually through the wall again? It looked like it was coming from behind him almost for a moment. So Conquest, again, very predictable about this. Applying that pressure over towards B. Fnatic are going to be aware of this one, and Olofmeister shuts out Naf right from the get-go here. The nade comes in,
it was
and the
actually
rifle,
team damage. I apologize.
The rifle goes flying there, and Stanislaw is going to go down due to that. Naf with a bit of a mistake. They're just getting itchy trigger fingers here now as they're starting to shoot their teammates a little bit. So Rush does find the trade there after Flusha manages to take down Shazam. Still leaving it 2-2-1-4. Daps actually takes down Crims before he can pull that gun out. So this is a round where we could possibly see Conquest take it, but they're at a race right now for the B site. Actually, they're going to wait for the rotation. But this may not work, because I think we're going to have Olofmeister investigating this first.
Yeah, and that's the right call from Fnatic. Let Olofmeister go back in there. Make sure that push doesn't come back around from CT side. Yield the plant. You got the numbers, but now they're just going to press back into this A bomb site, and Dennis is going to do the work. JW is going to finish it off, and you can hear him hooting and hollering over there, obviously having a good time. Olofmeister, does he ever smile? I don't know if he ever smiles.
I've seen him smile.
And now we've got an auto sniper in the hands of Dennis. So they're just obviously having a good time here. They're on track for I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to call it because I'm not going to caster curse it. 13-0 is the scoreline right now for Fnatic.
I think that counts.
I'm leaving
if they get around now, I'm going to blame you.
I didn't say it.
All right. You insinuated it, though.
I may have. Okay.
We'll see. Okay, so for Conquest, again, on this round, unfortunately, still no plant situation coming out from them because they decide to wrap it around and try to go for an A site take, assuming Fnatic had rotated. Big mistake there. Fnatic actually really smart to realize that that's going on. But now, again, just being shut down here. Dennis picking up 2 kills. They don't even check Boiler here, so Olofmeister, he's going to find another kill after Naf had taken down Dennis. They roll in. Big mistake. Naf tries to turn it back around, but it's not going to happen. And Fnatic, again, pick up an additional round. 14-0 right now, only losing 2 players along the way that time.
Look at this buy. What? Oh, yes! Oh, my God. I can't believe it's happening. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely happening. This is absolutely insanity right now. The new meta has been established by Fnatic. It's going to be the 5-man auto shotgun middle push. I've only seen this executed one time in Counter-Strike 1.6. It's the old leaf blower strat. They're going to go mow the lawn right down here in the bottom side of mid, and Shazam's going to be the first one to fall victim. If this works out for Fnatic and they win this round, that's ridiculous. Dennis with one as well. Naf all the way back in T-spawn, but coming around from alternate mid, JW finds another one. Finally, Naf answers back. This is insanity right now.
They're starting to trade at the guns a little bit here because some progress is being made by Daps, but immediately it's swung back around by Dennis. And now it comes down to a 1 versus 1, which Naf is actually going to win.
Hey, all right.
They've got a point on the board.
At least they're smiling on the Conquest side. They got to know what just happened because that's absolutely insane that they did that. And it almost actually worked.
And 1 versus 1 man. A clutch shot from the offer on the side of Conquest to close it out. So
there
he had
you
a
go.
smoke in the way too. But unfortunately, obviously, this one round is gained off of probably one of the cheesiest plays Fnatic possibly could have thrown at their opponents. So
Oh, man.
The prospects still look very, very bad indeed for the second half.
14-1 being your halftime score. Going into the second half, Conquest, they're on the back foot right now. Obviously, they need to win a pistol round, which is something that they haven't been able to do so far in the entirety of this matchup. In first map or second map, they've gone 0 for 3 in pistol rounds so far. Chance to go 0 and 4, and if they lose this one, it's pretty much as good as done. If they win this one, it's pretty much just a delay on them losing the match.
And Fnatic already all the way through the apartments, and Krim sitting himself in Boiler looking for the opening shot. Get some okay damage back over there onto some of the players from Conquest, but not going to be able to shut them out just as of yet. Now they switch up the play a little bit here. The bomb actually pressing its way through mid choke point now, so take a little bit of a risk, but he does not commit to it. The real play once again will be happening back over here towards Banana, and it'll be up to Stanislaw to try to hold this one. He spots it, but he's going to give Louis, he's going to let these guys push into it now because he needs the support of Rush as these players start to work towards it, and thankfully he does, because Rush is going to be good. Picks up that first kill on the flush as the actual take starts.
Yeah, but now they're going to be getting their way over towards the water side here, and the JW is going to be able to find one. Daps, though, with the double, is able to answer back onto this long-range shots, but JW again chimes in, but it's going to be Shazam with one and done. Nafly trades that one out instantaneously, so a little bit of a collective sigh of relief coming out from the now CT side of Conquest, as they're able to pick up their first pistol round of the series. But it comes on the back of some nice shots there from Daps, and then Shazam at the end, at least doing enough to distract for his teammate to clean that one up. 14-2. They need to win out.
Yeah, they have an absolute mountain, like Mount Everest-sized mountain to climb up here if they want to get back into this game. So
with like no oxygen tanks or anything. They're at base camp, yeah.
I'm gonna give them some credit. They can bring oxygen at least, but this is base camp here. Now it's the first trek to get up to the forward base.
Yeah.
And try to establish a foothold here against Fnatic. Like in a more realistic setting, though, as we kind of go away from the funny stuff for a second, I mean, the big problem here is just going to become, obviously, they just don't have any mistakes to make. Even just one loss here is immediately going to put Fnatic on match point, and regardless of how many rounds Conquest have picked up, unless they can miraculously pick up 12 or 13 in a row here to somehow put it onto their own match point, Fnatic is 9 times out of 10 going to be able to win things out.
Yeah, they really shouldn't have too much of a problem, because Fnatic is not one of those teams that, you know, gets to a 14-round scoreline in the lead and ends up, you know, losing out a map. But Shazam's going to be able to find first blood. Olafmeister down and out. And now we're going to go back into this one. Nafly onto Flusha, finds that frag, but JW with Wandig is going to be able to take down Nafly. So the trades are coming out a little bit here, but Rush going to be able to drop one more. The P90 from, or actually, pardon me, that was a FAMAS from Shazam. The old Clarion's going to be able to do some work. And finally, Rush takes down Krims. So it's a relatively clean round here for the CT side, with the exception of one player losing their life. But again, obviously, Fnatic still having a good time. 14-3. 11 rounds away from tying it up, Conquest.
This is going to serve as that foundation for Conquest here now, too, because after Fnatic's force, really not going to be able to go for anything too large here in round number 3 of this half, with them only investing towards P250s. They got to save for that first gun round, so Conquest should be good to at least stack something up. That first gun run will be the big test, so Conquest have a little bit of a break, but in their minds, they should be focusing completely on that 4th round, which is coming up right after this, because if that gets messed up, already they're down in the dumps here.
Well, there have been a whole handful of times in the past where we've been casting matches, mainly you and myself, I believe, have seen it a number of times, where a team will actually lose the armor pistol buy in the 2nd round, and then somehow, with even more of a limited buy, they'll end up winning the 3rd round. So never count Fnatic out in a situation like this. We've definitely seen it happen in the past, but again, they're just going to be grouping up for this bum rush in towards the A bomb site, and it's going to be Shazam from Library to hold this one down. Spots the first one, tapping away with the M4. He's doing good trigger discipline on that one, but it's going to get traded out, and Flush is going to find that kill. And now they've got an M4 to work with if they can get into, they do actually get it out of Library, but now coming around the side, they're going to double team Stanislaw. He gets one and done, but in the meantime, Naf actually goes down to Krims. So this is a really tough spot now for the CTs, because their forces are spread. Now the bomb is dropped all the way in CT spawn, so that's even more of a hindrance here for the terrorist side of Fnatic.
And JW, after he loses his teammate here, going to come in for the response. That leaves it between him and Rush. Rush transfers from Pit, gets himself inside of the site instead. But now again, the problem here becomes that bomb is still back out towards CT spawn. So JW is easily going to be able to just grab this, make a run for the B site, and the longer it takes Rush to realize this, the more time JW is going to have to get himself into a post plant. Thankfully, Rush catches on to this fairly early. He's actually going to go for the full rotation now. He's going to bite on this. He didn't get intel as to what necessarily was going on towards porch side, but thankfully he's correct. At the same time, though, JW knows exactly where he's coming from, so this is still going to be very, very rough on that retake. The flash does not connect onto JW. And as we see Rush getting closer and closer, it's going to come down to him to try and clutch things out. He's been very, very cocky this entire game, but now he's actually got to perform at this point. As Rush inches closer and closer, he's going to win that game of shoot him up there, takes him down, and is going to clutch out the round here for the guys on Conquest.
Yeah, JW actually kind of screwing with him there at the end, strafing back and forth, and finally Rush is going to be able to line that one up. But again, I talked about it moments beforehand. They had more success in that round with no investment, just a couple of upgraded pistols than they did in their armor pistol eco round that they had as well. So now we go into a gun round. JW's got money for an op. They got the bomb plant, so they're going to have plenty of nades as well. You can see full nade kits on 4 out of 5 players. A smoke on JW as well for one of those crucial choke points. And now we're going to have this op-on-op battle. It's going to be Shazam here in mid. JW is actually working his way up Banana as well. So it's going to be interesting to see where these two players actually face off this round. Stanislaw, though, very aggressive by himself outside of B.
Very little support that could come in here, too. I think Daps is with him on the site, but he's a pretty long rotate away. Thankfully, Pop Flash comes in. Stanislaw a little bit messy on the spray, but able to execute. Picks up that first kill, and then will promptly fall back. They've got an advantage. This is a good style of play here for Conquest now. They've got to be very, very careful, and that's exactly how that's played out. Getting an advantage, and then they retreat to a safe position where now they can play towards that advantage, and it'll be Fnatic's turn to make a move here.
Yeah, so the man advantage, like you said, going the way of Conquest. Olafmeister going to go ahead and smoke off the arc side. He's going to take the fight with Rush, but he's going to lose that one. So, again, that's going to swing the favor even more heavily into the Conquest side. And JW now with the perched up on top of the hay bales outside, the hay truck, just looking for any kind of aggression from the CT side, but they're not going to give him the opportunity right now. And actually, they're going to creep on out, and they spam that. And Daps actually finds the frag and takes him down. Nice find there from the Conquest side. Pop flash into water to hold him back, but they're actually a little bit behind. Now, if Conquest end up dropping this round with this much of an advantage, that is just a complete detriment. You can see actually Flusha finds one. He's spamming through the spools and actually finds good damage. Dennis comes back into one, and now we're down to a 3 versus 2. That bomb is going to get planted. They're going for a pinch right now, but with that smoke being over there by Spool's side, Shazam can't get a clear line of sight. He's looking for anybody for any kind of information, but Molotov flushes out Flusha. He's going to be stuck behind first oranges, or second oranges, pardon me. And now that retake comes in. He peeks out a little bit too far, but there you go. Dennis actually takes down Shazam as Rush tries to pull out that rifle in time, but they do get the round in the long run, and that is going to be a 14-5 scoreline. So Conquest at least staying alive for the time being, but that got a little scary there.
Yeah, I mean, again, a situation where Fnatic had absolutely no business even getting themselves into the site. They press the right forward, but they underestimate the speed at which Conquest are able to get themselves into a position for a retake there, specifically Shazam. Really, no one was accounting for someone to re-enter that quickly back over through Garden, so they don't really watch out for that. One player on Fnatic messes up and like walks into a molly. I'm not sure if he caught that there, but he walks outside of, I think it was second oranges, and basically burns himself alive, not really realizing that's on the ground. And then from that point forward, it's a 1 versus 3, so it's pretty easy to close out. But Shazam tries to get aggressive this time through the mid choke point. A big mistake, though, as he overpeaks to a very large degree. He's going to be taken down. Nap, though, quick on the trade as he takes that Porch Jesus pull. He's going to be able to find the response frag over onto JW, and the rest of this team now rolling back over towards the crossroads. They're going to come up Banana and probably for a very swift take onto the B site.
Yeah, but this one-way smoke is working wonders right now. Stanislaw is going to be able to find the first one. He drops the smoke around the corner, and they are going to just push on in. Dennis finds him, but now it's going to be on Daps. He's going to get the trade, but Olafmeister is right there to retort, and it's going to be a 2-on-2 right now. Olafmeister with 15 HP, Flusha at 100 this time, and now we see the retake on. They've got a Molotov, a smoke, a flash, and an HE grenade. Both of them have kits, so they've got time to work with right now. The rotation was on point. They're coming around from the back halls. Flusha looking for that early damage. He does find a little bit on a NAF, but now both players are going to be coming back around through the main side. And there it is. Flusha actually goes down, but Olafmeister's there. And if you want anybody in a 1 versus X situation, it's Olafmeister, but he gets flushed out by a Molotov. NAF is going to be able to clutch out the round, and another round goes on the board for Conquest.
That is going to be some very smart play from NAF there. Just playing it very nicely, able to molly that back out, doesn't take any big risks. And as I was saying before, this is exactly the type of style that Conquest are forced to play towards. They cannot take any chances to bring them into a situation where they would lose a round or even really lose players in the midst of a round. They have to try and win these as wholesomely as they possibly can. The problem, though, is that they are winning these on fairly close battles. Fnatic are just missing that little bit of an oomph to get them over the edge and pick up that 15th round. So Conquest are not really given a chance to stack up a very large economy. Fnatic still have no reason to sweat because of this, because they pick up 1 round and immediately Conquest are going to be on a full eco.
And that's the big thing, too, is now they've actually lost 5 in a row, so they get that infinite money cycle that they've been on now, getting $3,400 at the end of each round. So they're going to be on these buys, and this is where things start to get really difficult for Conquest. The last 2 rounds came down to 1v1s and 1v2s. This time around, it's going to be, you know, we're going to be able to buy AKs and get in your face round in and round out, and now Shazam doesn't have the AWP. He went for that aggressive peek in mid last round. And look at their nade count as well on the CT side. You've only got 2 smokes, you've got 3 Molotovs and a handful of flashes, and it's just really, really difficult, this situation that they're in, because they're not going to be able to smoke off these choke points for very long. You can see they actually just used one in apartments, and there's still 55 seconds left on the clock.
Fnatic trying to work their way in now. They've made their way through the mid choke point, but trying to find a way through the apartments and get themselves around porch side here too. No one really going to be trying to push their wrap side just as of yet, and Rush once more will be finding this first opening frag over here towards Dennis. The rest of the team halted back here a little bit. There's still a good amount of resistance coming in from Conquest and Shazam. Nice spot as they're able to check out JW just outside of that smoke. Takes him down, and still a very strong hold being mounted here by the guys on Conquest. Basically zero progress made by Fnatic except getting through this mid choke and getting themselves inside a boiler.
Yeah, and this is a good look here from Conquest. And again, we kind of talked about it beforehand, at least Moses touched on it on the analyst desk before we started out, was if Conquest would have actually won the knife round and gone on the CT side, this could have been a very much different story. But this time around, it's going to be Shazam swinging around from Library. He finds the opening pick onto, I believe that was Crims, and then we've got the trades come out. So they keep 3 alive this time as opposed to 1 or 2, so that's going to help their economy in the long run. But again, because they're so low, they're going to have to drop guns over off of 2 out of the 3 remaining players last round, so they're going to be buying down. And again, look at that, only 1,900 on their top bank, and that's DAPS.
And the worst part about this, just to give people a bit of perspective as to still how long away Conquest have to go, we're only halfway there in terms of their scoreline, and they already started off with 1 at the half, so they're only halfway to the amount of points they need just to tie it. That's not even to win it. So Fnatic, again, still has so many more chances to strike back against this, and as you were mentioning before, because they're already on that full losing bonus, they do have to take one of these rounds a little bit later because we didn't necessarily see them get into the plant for these past couple of rounds, but immediately after that, they could just spray buy up once again, and they're right back to tip-top shape where they can try and crush Conquest, and just 1 round doing that is going to be enough basically for them to win the game.
Yeah, and the other big thing is this is a relatively decent investment out of the terrorist side. They go for the tech armor and the tech armor. I might as well call it the tech armor buy.
That's a good name.
The Tech 9 armor buy, and they actually pick up a lot of nades as well. They've got a ton of flashes and a ton of and a couple of smokes as well. And this is an execution, so they are going to go in towards this A bomb site. But the flash comes around, and Shazam just lines up 3 of them, mows them down. He's going to pull out the pistol, but he can't get it done. Dennis is going to be there to answer back, and now it's DAPS and CT Spawn going to be fighting against Dennis, but he goes down as well as Olaf Meister, and that is the clean kind of round that they want here on their CT side to try to stack some of that money up once again and move forward.
Faces on Fnatic have suddenly become a lot more serious, haven't they, Mega Man?
They certainly have, and that's the biggest thing. Like, okay, we had the opportunity to have a 15-0 first half, but we're going to buy the auto shotguns and push on down middle and try to have a little bit of fun. They lose that round, they lose the pistol round, and all of a sudden it's 14-8 with a 6-round difference. Not saying Conquest can do this, but they're at least starting to make Fnatic respect their play a little bit more here on their terrorist side.
Conquest taking up the usual positions here in round number 23 as Fnatic pushing into apartments once again. Usual spots still. This is the same thing from them too, and this is becoming a problem for Fnatic because there's not a whole lot of variance to their own strategies. They're still just throwing the same thing at the wall and hoping it'll eventually stick, which is not the case at least to start things off. But JW getting some work done there, picking up those 2 frags. It is responded to evenly, but then there's Shazam not only picking up Olaf Meister, but now dropping the bomb too. 2 left alive. They have managed to take control of the A-Site, but without the bomb, they're not getting anything done.
Yeah, and again, we're going to be seeing this 3 versus 2. Shazam stuck here in the cubby. All 3 CTs all grouped up on this side of the map. Molotov comes out. Oh, that might actually burn Shazam. It might spread enough. He's still stuck there in the cubby. Luckily for him, it doesn't actually spread enough to do any damage. Otherwise, he would have fried.
They got the bomb, though. They've actually managed to just get the bomb, and now they've got the flank going, and there's going to be JW finds DAPS inside of the smoke. Even scenario. Now 2 versus 2 for both of these teams, and Conquest have to be worried about this because now they've had the bomb. They thought they had full control, but it's not the case, and they've got basically nothing to work for this retake. They've got a single molly and a flash hitting on Stan. Flush already taken down, but Stanislav not going to be able to respond in time. JW too quick on the trades. He shuts it out, and then there's that 1 round that we needed to see here now. Fnatic immediately getting themselves back into the saddle, and they will be up to that match point.
I'm pretty sure that was actually an ace from JW. He got the opening 2 picks out of Boiler's side. I believe he actually got around and got the pick onto Shazam as well. I might be mistaken. That might have been a 4K, but nevertheless, he has stepped up in a big way. You can actually see across the board here for the terrorist side, with the exception of Crims, everybody's sitting on 20 kills or more, so they're doing a substantial amount of the work. The big story is Stanislaw here on the Conquest side. He only has a handful of kills. He hasn't really been stepping up and performing the way that the rest of his team has been as well, and Shazam also kind of low on the totem pole. But the rest of his team, DAPS, NAF, and Rush have been doing, you know, handful of work. But look at this Fnatic just walk out.
That's going to be Naf and Rush picking up 2 great kills to start things off. Shazam sitting on the edge of a Molly for the 2nd round in a row here. He almost gets hit by that, but it's still safe. The rest of Fnatic, they are trying to make some progress into Banana and the B site itself. However, Conquest aren't aware of this one. They're starting to realize that Daps falls back, gets the smoke out, and it's perfectly timed too. Nobody on Fnatic is going to be able to fully catch anybody from Conquest, I should say, through the smoke just as of yet. And Conquest are still in a very good position to stop this. Daps, a little bit of a risky spot, and that's going to throw some pressure back onto Stanislaw once again, but they're going to press through. Not spotting him as yet. There's Daps with the first kill, dropping down, gets some damage on the second, and then this pop flash. There's another frag now coming out for Stan, and the final player, Flusha, he's been pushed back. It's going to be very hard for him to even get into this site. We can see, just tries to push his way through that spray, but it's not going to happen, and Shazam will end up catching him through the smoke.
Yeah, so again, just like that money bonus that they had built up here on the Fnatic side gets wiped out with that 1 round trade. So that's actually not that bad for Conquest. Now, granted, it is on match point, which, you know, if they would have been able to do this with a 14 round, you know, if they would have lost 13-2 in the first half and then had that situation where it's 14-8 or 14-9 at this point, they'd be a lot more comfortable because they still have no room for any mistakes. But they've at least broken the money for this for the Fnatic side. So moving on forward, they are going to have decent money here for the CT round. And this is a great opportunity for them to stack some more chips if they lose any players.
Fnatic now press themselves up through Banana, trying to make their way into it. Crims does get a lock onto one of the players here just before the smoke ends up pulling out, but still not going to have the arsenal that's needed to actually take him down just as of yet. So the rest of these guys are held back by that smoke. Not going to be committing to anything. They actually fall back by quite a bit as they've left them in chokehold open once again on the side of Conquest. So Olofmeister's going to be able to press his way through. Shazam, though, just trying to bait these players over through a rap side. He's got that up ready to go. Missing that first connection, though, so they're going to start to flood back out. Oh, there's Olofmeister with the Huandig. Shuts out Shazam, and they're just going to go for the pinch now, working themselves inside of Arches. They're going to move in to possibly take control of the B site, but this is a fake once again, as they'll just roll right back out and move in back towards the A site probably in a moment.
This is scary for Naflight too. He's stuck over here by porch side, and if he even peeks out, JW is probably going to rip his head off. Never mind.
That's very well handled by Naf, as he's able to take down JW. So slowly trying to get back control of this scenario. Again, though, Fnatic were assuming that Conquest would have rotated off after they spotted players going inside of Arches. This has not been the case, and now they have to try and innovate this strategy just a little bit. Things are definitely not panning out the way they would like things to, and now just getting shut down. Olofmeister walking in through the porch, still thinks Naf had fallen back. Finally, another shot comes out from Crims to take down Naf, but it might just be too little too late. Trying to line up another one. The plant does come in on the site, but Rush shutting down one of the final 2. Crims is already down at 16 HP, working against 3 other players. It's not going to happen, and we will see another round being picked up here by Conquest, 5 away from tying it up and potentially taking us into overtime.
Yeah, and this is where things actually do start to get a little bit scarier for Fnatic side. Now, I still don't have any doubt in my mind that they're going to be able to close this match out, and with that bomb plant, they're going to be able to put the extra money in the bank moving forward into this gun round. The big thing is, you know, you've seen Rush kind of start to catch fire here. You've seen Shazam hitting some nice shots with the AWP. Now, granted, last round, Olofmeister completely denied him over there in the library hall, just based off of that one shot from the Desert Eagle. I mean, that's all it takes. Granted, it wasn't a revolver. Could have been more painful.
Yes.
But 15-10, 5 rounds the difference. Now, it was 14-1 at the beginning of the second half, guys. Keep that in mind. That is kind of something big to note right here, is that there was a 14-1 halftime score, and Conquest has fought their way tooth and nail back into this one.
And Fnatic actually trying to figure out how exactly they want to approach this round. Again, the same avenues have been left open here, so they're probably going to assume it'll be the same general setup coming in from Conquest. And for the most part, that is right. But Stanislaw taking that forward spot, sitting just inside of the porch. Spots a little bit of something here, but is actually going to get aggressive after the smoke comes out. Can see a little bit, but he jumps up too soon. And Crims is going to be able to spot him there. Shuts him down. Daps is on the rotate. That Molly's in a great position, doing some great damage to Dennis and Flush. But Daps, he can't see anything. All this confusion. He has to fall back towards CT. And that's actually going to yield site control over to the guys on Fnatic.
Yeah, that play from Stanislaw, a little bit too brazen for my taste. Just kind of threw his life away and gives Fnatic the man advantage and basically sight for free. And now Rush actually burning alive down to 44 HP. Flush is going to be able to take down Daps. It's going to be Shazam on the backside by the Garden to find the shot onto Dennis, but good post-plant positions here from the terrorist side. This could be it. It's battling back and forth, and Shazam's not going to be your last man standing. JW and Flush get it done. 16-10 is going to be your final score for map number 2. So after a 16-4 victory on Mirage, Fnatic take it 16-10, 2-0 fashion over Conquest.
And I mean, all things considered, with the way that that game starts off in the first half, that was actually a really good attempt from Conquest to make their way back as they switched the things over and as they jumped onto that CT side. It was just, again, as I said before, too little too late. the big advantage that was gained by Fnatic basically gave them nothing to worry about there in the second half. So they already had a huge lead. Just needed 2 rounds. Took them a little bit longer than I think some people were expecting, but they do manage to close things out 2-0, as most of the analysts and casters did expect.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, you know, obviously we thought that second map was going to be a little bit more lopsided, especially after we saw that knife round come out and Fnatic go over onto the CT side and then just have a tremendous CT side half. Now, granted, they were, you know, for the sake of the argument, screwing around a little bit with the, you know, the auto shotgun strategy. Well, you know, they were having a little bit of fun there. You can't really argue that too much. But one of the big things is their ability to still close out maps even in the long run. Now they were on they kind of had their on the back foot a little bit there, but you know, Conquest, not to take anything away, that was a brilliant comeback attempt from them, and it all came on the back of actually winning a pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like a lot of North American teams, Conquest unfortunately just does not have that amount of experience versus Europeans yet. This roster is still trying to get itself a little bit more solidified, so they're not going to be able to match up against Fnatic, probably one of the tip-top shaped teams in the world right now.
Yeah, and that's really kind of the tough spot for them to be in. So that's pretty much it for that matchup right there. I don't know. We're going to have our analysts kind of tackle that one here, but we're going to be going over for a little bit of a post-game interview here. I believe we've got Sadakist and JW. Take it away, Sadakist.
Thanks, Blue Mega, which Mega Man is a blue man, so that actually works out. It's kind of like the Mega Man casting duo. I'm here with someone who's apparently, you're going to go by J-Dub now, the rap name, singing straight out of Compton, going chin-checking on round 15. Like, what was that all about?
Yeah, we watched on the flight here, we watched the Straight Outta Compton movies, you know. We're all gangsters now.
Apparently you were, because that was pretty impressive stuff. However, 14-1, all right, you're having some fun. I can appreciate that. Having fun's important, messing around a little bit, making it entertaining. Maybe a little bit too soon. They came back, made you respect them a little more on that CT side?
Yeah, I mean, the CT side, as I said, we're gangsters now, so we know how to use guns. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it might be a bit of maybe jet lag. Like during that CT side, we got very like laughy and you know, like you do when you like do an all-nighter when you stay up very late. So I think it was some sort of a jet lag, but yeah, we had fun. We just kept rolling, and then at the T side, we're never really scared. But I mean, when they started winning rounds, of course we were like, yeah, okay, let's do this now. But yeah, I mean, they are way better than maybe they looked like now. I think when we get rolling, we can roll like that against pretty much the best teams in the world. So I think it maybe look a bit unfair to them, but they played good actually.
Good guy, JW, showing some respect, and it's good for them as well. Obviously, it's a big land for that roster. Good start for you guys, maybe potentially to get that out of the system early, because now you know you'll be moving forward. It's envious that you'll play in this Group A, the upper bracket of it. Anything you guys need to work out or learn from today? Again, having Dennis in communication, little subtle nuances that have to be addressed before tomorrow?
Our communication today was really good, actually. We talked good and all that. And I mean, against Envy, it's pretty much always the same playing against them. They never really impress us tactical-wise. It's all about who shoots most headshots at the day, pretty much, because, I mean, so far during that lineup's career, we've never got impressed tactical-wise. So it's all about who will shoot the hardest tomorrow.
Would you say that you almost play more that style now, though, without Dennis? Because you say that maybe like you guys had the tactical advantage, that's why, and now is that going to change? Like, is there anything to read into that?
I mean, it's still very early with Dennis. We practiced together like, I think, not even 2 weeks. We had Fragbite before this, and we went straight to this after Fragbite, so we didn't even touch Counter-Strike after Fragbite pretty much. So, I mean, I think the more we play with this lineup, the longer the time goes, we're going to be more and more tactical. But so far, it's a lot run and gun, of course. And we have a very skilled lineup, so I think it's working. But eventually people will find out how to counter it and all that, so then we will start to get more tactical. But right now, I think people will just see us run and gun pretty much.
All right, well, the running and gunning certainly...
Like the gangsters we are.
Like the gangsters you are. I appreciate it. The hat backwards, it's all being thrown down by J-Dub, as he's now going to go by. But you guys have definitely been running and gunning well. 2 straight tournaments, off to a great start in this one. Thanks so much, dude. I appreciate it. If we do like a gangster handshake now, like show me how it's done in Compton. What was that? All right, cool. All right, we good. We're gonna put our heads down in shame. We're gonna walk away from that one. I'm gonna take a minute to compose myself after that. But of course, the guys who are always composed, none other, and I'm gonna change the pace here a little bit, than the fabulous Machine and the Desk.
Thank you very much, Matt. Hand-eye coordination was never your strong suit.
To be fair, that handshake was only marginally worse than Conquest was. So.
Okay, that is the route we're taking for this one.
I wasn't even going to go there. No. He never said anything like that the whole time he was here. Where did that come from?
That is just,
Yeah.
it just fires a firework off the desk.
He's so content.
Okay, let me just recompose myself after that one.
So smug.
Okay, so a little uppercut there for Conquest from Anders as he lets us know his thoughts on that one. Guys, I don't know how much we really can analyze that one. We saw.
I think Anders just summed it up.
Yeah,
we can go to break right
Are
now.
we done? Okay, cool.
Anders
Let's
just
try watching. See you later. No, but 5 auto shotties running down middle, a little bit of kind of. I mean, they were singing songs, and that's not an exaggeration. We are not too far from this side of the arena, and we can just hear them like rapping. There was a bit of freestyle rap coming in there, a giggle after every frag. Fnatic definitely. It's not like it was bad manners. It was just it felt like they were having a lot of fun with the game, and they were. I mean, they were looking fierce. They were running down banana with AWPs and.
And yet, somebody managed to make a Reddit thread anyways, asking if it was bad mannered, which is really annoying. I just.
Do you want to like address that now with like a 2-letter word?
Anders is triggered.
Yeah.
No. It's a competition. You're supposed to beat the other people, and if you can tilt them by being really happy and really excited and singing, then great. I mean, that's what you should do absolutely every time.
More power
would
to
anyone
you.
on this panel not do that?
I would definitely do that.
I would do it.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, mind games are so important in this one. It's insane how much mindset can change into this, and I don't know. Maybe Conquest should have been singing more songs. Maybe that's what they were missing out on. Maybe, just maybe that's what we need to see.
Yeah.
Like hand out song sheets and then like...
I love where Fnatic have gone right now. Like, you see JW in an interview saying they weren't impressed tactically by Envy in the past, or like ever, apparently. Saying might be a bit of a stretch, but fair enough. I still appreciate just them saying it. Yeah. And during Fragbite, I mean, we had Dennis saying that they straight up beat NIP, which they didn't do. But it was still, it's still cool. I like that they're feeling really confident and they feel that they can say these things in interviews. Like, I think
that's awesome.
Good direction.
I love that in the CS:GO scene.
Yeah,
just kind of keeping it chill. And I mean, Conquest are kind of going to have their work cut out for them now. Fnatic, though, we get Fnatic versus Envy tomorrow, guys. That's what Matt's just kind of informed us on. That's going to be great.
Really cool. To talk a little bit, I want to talk about, because we saw it in the very last round, just a little bit of the actual like tactical. Some of the decision making you can see, and it's something that a lot of North Americans do, is just these small fundamental mistakes when they want to make plays, and you got to have this understanding with how the round is progressing of when you're in a position to make a play and when you're not, and to make that kind of a comeback that they had, when you're in that position to lose at 15-10 because I don't remember who it was, but Daps rotates away from B. He's the support B player. He's leaving, and the player who's left alone in the B bomb site decides to get aggressive and jump on top of him. A-cart. Like, you can't do that. If you want to make that play, fine, but Daps has to stay with you. I mean, you saw even as much as Fnatic was joking around on their own CT side with the amount of times that they've played aggressive down banana, if it's just Olaf over at car, he's holding an angle. He's not pushing it until his teammates have arrived over into the B bomb site to cover it just in case. Like, that's just like fundamental stuff that needs to get drilled into the head of these players, and it's not happening. And that goes back to the entire leadership conversation that we had. This is the thing. Like, at a certain point, some of these North American teams, I know no one likes to get yelled at, no one likes to, get dominated by their team leader, but Steel and Days, these guys rule with an iron fist. And these plays have been happening all year long. Someone needs to come in with that iron fist and just say, all right, you guys have proven you can't improve on your own, so I'm just going to be the dominant team leader, and I'm going to make you guys start learning to play smart.
I just want to leave a little bit of silence after that one. That was kind of everything that you haven't said in a while finally being said. There you go. Yeah. Whew, do you want to just take a deep breath? Like, that's it. There it goes.
I'm good.
That's what you needed. There you go. Sean, I mean, you tend to agree with what Jason's saying.
Yeah, we were talking about it when the match was live. It's just a lot of unnecessary plays that were made throughout the entire match on both maps. And then just assuming that they can take things for free, like when they're trying to take bracket control on Inferno, I would listen to them, and they planned out the entire strat, but they skipped the entire beginning part of the strat, which is taking bracket to begin with. Right. We were just trying to walk up into bracket as if Fnatic just couldn't play there.
There was that one eco roll we saw.
It looks like you're physically in pain from talking about it.
It hurts me. It hurts me.
We mentioned there was an eco round where they ran up through a smoke, and they had like 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and a Molotov that they all died with all this utility, like $2,000 worth of utility that they just got crushed with. If you're gonna buy it, like use it. Like what's going on? Like that's just those are the kind of things that really get me tilted watching those plays.
There was a lot
But
of
I
tilt.
mean, it is interesting though, because we obviously have a bunch of people making tutorials for how to play the game better, like how do you peak angles if you want to be a good AWPer, if you do a lot of deathmatch, you have maps for it. Has anyone ever made a tutorial for in-game leading? Like, it's obviously very, very difficult, right? But I'm not even sure if anyone's ever tried.
I think Steel has. I think he has one.
Steel maybe. All right. So there's a point there. But that would be good to have. That would be good to have more of.
Tutorial.
More of a conversation, about it, right, Sean?
Yeah, if there was like a prominent in-game leader that had some time on his hands recently, that maybe we want maybe grab a video
No,
camera and a
retirement home
microphone.
doesn't allow YouTube.
No, you're too busy dropping bombs in FPL. That's it. That's your day right now.
True.
Put your feet up, kill a couple of people, and live the dream. Yeah. How is retirement treating you, Sean? You feeling good?
Feeling great.
Yeah. Enjoying it. Little less pressure on your
A lot
shoulders.
better from this side, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dark side.
Well, yeah. I mean, so from just while we have a bit of time, I mean, we may as well before we do dissect our next game, which is going to be called CLG, going to be trying their hand against TQM. What are your expectations for North America in this one? We didn't have a chance because, of course, you weren't on the sofa at the start. But I mean, what do you think for this event? They got 4 teams here.
I like it. So CLG, this side of the tournament, Group B, I think the North American teams have a lot better of a chance.
Yeah.
Obviously, Luminosity would be the favorites from North America at this event, but CLG is a great matchup for TSM. Actually, I think a lot of the maps that TQM likes, CLG likes, and this could go 3 maps.
Has it dawned on anyone that last game, by the way, is going to be the longest game of all time? Because they both essentially play the same terror side. That's like super slow. Wait till 30 seconds, 20 seconds left. I'm just saying it. It's not that it won't be fun, but it'll be
in the last 20 seconds.
I didn't even think about it.
That'll be interesting.
It'd be the waiting game.
Yeah.
Who's gonna mess up first?
Who's casting that one? Yeah, there's going to be.
I think
There you go, mate.
I mean, look at the right side. Round time's a minute 45.
That's true.
For now.
Just add a couple
It's
seconds
your
to
last
it.
tournament.
Yeah, at some point, we need
Let's
to,
not go there.
at some point, we're going to have a chat. We should, we will, but not right now.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and take a quick break before we get in trouble. And we have to, of course, remind you about the Score Esports application. Grab it on your smartphone. You can get both articles, but also stats of the games that are coming up, as well as the games that have happened already. So while you're doing that, we're going to take 5. And when we come back, it's going to be CLG battling for survival up against TQM. We'll see you then.